So if we start from the very beginning, this is the most important decision. Are you going to be single player? You're not going to be single player. Do you want to be on a hard difficulty or a normal difficulty? If you're watching tutorials, I would assume you would want to play a normal, because everybody that plays on hard and apocalyptic, can't say words. If you're playing on those difficulties, I would assume you've already played the game. If you haven't played the game and you're jumping straight to those difficulties, have fun. I played through normal. If anything, you could play on hard if you really want a challenge. But this is like for psychopaths. I'm sure that's extremely hard and annoying. But yeah, if you want to have fun, play normal. You can modify sandbox settings, but if you've never played the game, I would highly recommend not touching this. It's going to let you know that you can carry over characters because it keeps that save data to that character. So if you get it max leveled and you want to help your friend that just started, you can do that and you'll be max level still. Or if you're brand new and you want to join somebody that has maxed out their world and just look around, or I highly recommend not doing this, but if you wanted to join them and they'll help you level up, they can do that too. You can play however you want, but I will give you some suggestions. Alright, we're going to start with the lab assistant, and I'm going to give you a little bit more information that it's not really going to tell you on here. So, some of the levels are really not going to be that important unless you want to specifically play a playstyle. In my opinion, stealth does not seem like a viable option. However, if you really wanted to do stealth in this game, you can. And funny enough, stealth in this game does have some very strong upgrades once you get them upgraded. I just haven't done it because it is very hard, and maybe it's because of the job that I chose. But if you do choose this job in particular because you want sneaking and you want to play that stealthy playstyle, you will get 50% sneak XP increase, a 50% increase. But once again, I wouldn't really recommend this playstyle unless you're playing with friends, because if this is your first time playing, from my experience, stealth isn't really gonna be viable for a lot of instances. So I really wouldn't do this if I were you. We're gonna move on down to the next job. This one is gonna be more solely based for the medic of the group, and if you're playing solo, I wouldn't really choose this one because a lot of the healing upgrades that you get, for the most part, other than two of them, it's not really going to help yourself. It's more to help the person you're healing. If you choose this, you do get 50% increase on first aid XP. You also do get a point towards cooking and agriculture, which in my opinion are two things that you really want to level up in this game for everybody. And once again, unless you're playing with a bunch of friends and somebody is the cook of the group and you have a farmer of the group or whatever. But cooking and agriculture are pretty hard to level up from my experience, whereas something like first aid or sprinting and strength are very easy. Sneaking is very, very hard. It's probably the hardest one to do, but I don't find it that useful. Alright, moving down to the next job. This one is going to be for your melee characters, if you're which really everybody's going to be a melee character, but if you specifically are playing this game to fight things, you're probably going to like this class the most. But before you choose it and move on, I will let you know some things. That Fortitude XP is increased by 75% with this character, and so is Strength. It's increased by 50%, not 75%. And then Strength is increased by 50%. However, when you look at these, it may look very good and nice, but in my opinion, Blunt, Fortitude, Sprinting, and Strength are all extremely easy to level up. Fortitude is basically pretty easy to level up as well because you just take damage and you get XP. So having a 75% increase on Fortitude and a 50% increase on Strength, which both of those are very easy to level up, I don't really think this is the best thing. Unless you are, for the lack of better words, if you're bad at video games and you want to just fight things, this is perfect for you. But if you're more looking to get the most out of the game, I wouldn't necessarily choose this one. Alright, This is another one, in my opinion, that is going to be useless and nobody should play. Because yes, it is kind of hard to level up construction so that you can build things. I feel like this is a waste. So in my opinion, I'm not even going to talk about it. You do get a 50% increase on construction XP with this character, but I'm not going to waste your time. We're going to move on to the next one, which is probably the first one I will recommend for people. If you're playing with friends, I would have at least one person have this character because it gives you a 50% increase on agriculture XP, and having it relatively high is going to be very helpful. And the reason I say that this is going to be helpful is because if you get this high enough leveled, you can use higher and higher tiers of fertilizer that will help you harvest more or grow faster, because some stuff takes a long time to harvest, or it doesn't give you that much when you can. So I will say this is useful because you do need certain foods to make certain other foods, and you need crops to make foods. So this is pretty useful. To the most part, I wouldn't really choose this one either. You can, if you have a whole group of friends, somebody can choose this and you could level up cooking faster, because you do get a 50% increase on cooking XP. For the most part, it's meh. Okay, we're gonna go on to the next one, and I will recommend this one. This one, I don't really throw things that much, but I do see how certain items would be useful to throw. If you want to play a character that throws things, or if you simply just want a character that has a lot of points towards stuff, this is a good character to choose, because not only do you get 50% increase XP on throwing, you get a 50% increase on crafting, and crafting is a little hard to level up, so that 50% increase is nice. You also get additional crafting XP when you research items, and you basically research items throughout the entire game. So I don't know how much XP is given to you, but anything is nice. Alright, next one, we're going to have a character that is going to be solely based around attacking again, but this one is more not just melee. There are weapons that are long range, such as pistols and shotguns and stuff. There is ups and downs. To put it simply, you're getting essentially a 40% increase on accuracy XP and a 40% increase on reloading XP. So that's nice. Those do take a little while, so that added XP bonus should be nice. This is a very big downside in my opinion. You are stuck with slow learner, which is you learn skills 20% slower than normal, and can't learn recipes via sharing nor by picking up things after they have been crafted. So this one looks good on paper, but just from that alone, I wouldn't choose it, because that's really going to hinder you from a lot of things. So in my opinion, after putting a ton of hours into the game, if I was to start a new character, who would I choose if I was playing single player? Honestly, even though it is pretty easy to level up fortitude and strength, this is a very good character for your single player experience. This is also a very good character for single player experience. This is a good character to pick for single player, and so is this one. So out of these four, I would choose those. My recommendation, these are probably the last two I would recommend out of the four. This one being the first one I would recommend. And if you didn't want that one, I would choose this one. For this playthrough, I'm going to go with my number one pick in my opinion. This is probably the best character, even though your fortitude and strength XP can level up pretty fast on their own. It'll still help you get those leveled up faster, so that you can have, for example, fortitude is going to have your health regenerate a bit more frequently if you get it to level 5. If you rest in a chair, you can heal a certain amount at level 8. Like that rate that it heals when you sit down doubles. And then at level 10, you have slightly reduced fall damage and take less damage from environmental physics, such as vehicles. But that being said, once you choose that, you're going to get to this, and then I'll try to tell you, in my opinion, which ones of these you want to go with. Alright, I would not choose any negative traits, because all of these are going to suck for you if you do. Really, the only one that I would choose is dry skin, because you do get to a point where you're pretty readily available to water, but I still wouldn't choose it. This is going to be an annoyance for you. I really highly recommend not doing it, but if you want to ignore me, you do this to get 3 more points, because when you choose negatives, you get extra points. Going down the line, sprinting is pretty easy to level up. I wouldn't necessarily choose this one. When it says sprinting, strength, and throwing off to the side, that means you get a 30% increase on XP. So if you really, really wanted to get these, you can. Sprinting, and depending on if you're using a throw playstyle, like I hardly ever throw anything, sprinting and throwing XP increase isn't that useful, and it's a lot of points away. It's 5 points away. To me, this is better if you're playing on just normal, like you're not increasing any of the sandbox settings. You get a 20% increase on XP. Like that's just really good. Like you'll level up everything faster, in my opinion. It's not in my opinion. You do level up everything faster, so it's better in my opinion. 20% increase is great. Night Owl means that you are going to fatigue 50% slower. You have to sleep in this game, and once your fatigue gets down to a certain point, you'll just fall asleep. So you need to keep track of that. If that seems annoying to you, you could choose this, but it is 4 points to make it 50% slower. Like I said before, cooking is kind of hard to level up. With this, you will gain cooking skill twice as fast, which is great. You'll get to the max level cooking a lot faster. But we're going to leave it off for now. I'm going to choose hands down the best options for like survival as well as like doing damage, so that you're not struggling with, because there are technically bosses in the game. So I'm gonna choose the best thing to help you with those. Those are probably the biggest bottlenecks for people. So if you're doing a stealth playthrough, you could choose Inconspicuous. Once again, I don't see the appeal to stealth in this game. Maybe I'll do a stealth playthrough and prove myself wrong. This one isn't too bad. You won't see this until the end game, though. You have a heat resistance and a cold resistance +1 with this. I really didn't struggle that much with weathered stuff, however. So, I really feel like you shouldn't choose this one, in my opinion. Fanny Pack seems like a really good one, but it takes 10 points. It's so many points that it's hard for me to recommend. You have, I believe, 8 hot bars, and this gives you 2 extra hot bars permanently. It's very good, but you do get injured sometimes in the game, and you will bleed and take more damage until you bleed to death. So this can be useful, but really it's pretty easy to make bandages in the game for just normal bleeding. So if you're playing the medic, you could choose this one. You do get +3 to your first aid, and that'll help you level it up faster. If you're playing single player, like I said, first aid, leveling it up isn't as important as it is if you're playing with friends and you have a dedicated medic. Gardener, you will level up agriculture. You'll level up gardening twice as fast, and you also receive garden plots right away. So this could be useful. You can get access to foods that are better sooner. If the hunger and thirst aspect seems to annoy you in most games, you could choose one of the other, either reducing your hunger by 20% or reducing your thirst. Thirst is 1 more point than hunger because thirst happens more often, if you're wondering why that is. Self-defense is going to let you have +3 damage with all melee weapons. 3 damage is going to do just about nothing once you get to endgame. I feel like this is a waste of points, to be completely honest. Bladder of Steel, you could get this one. It's only 2 points, and constantly having to poop yourself in this game is kind of annoying. So if you wanted to reduce that a little bit, you can. However, you do need the poop for fertilizer, so keep that in mind. It'll make your fertilizer obtaining 20% slower, technically. You can carry 15% more weight because you carry so many items in this game. This one's pretty good. And you get +1 strength, which strength does a ton of stuff in this game. Not just like attacking, but also holding weight and stuff. So, and then the last one is Lead Belly. I wouldn't get this one. It seems good, but it's a lot of points to do. So in my opinion, it's not worth it. So there we have it. I'm going to choose Wrinkly Rain Meat so I can get 20% more XP for everything. And then I'm also going to get Buff Brainiatic, I can't even speak, so that I can carry 15% more weight than normal, because you carry a ton of stuff in this game, almost always. Gonna ask you one last time if this is really what you want to do. If not, you can go back. If you're ready, get ready. You'll do the little cutscene. I've already played the game, so I don't do the cutscene, and you'll start here. So for reference, my 100-hour playthrough single player, I am using Lab Assistant. I think I only chose it because at the time I saw it started with 10 points to spec into whatever I wanted. So I put it into Wrinkly Brain Meat, Night Owl, because I've always hated the aspect of having to stop what I'm doing to sleep. And for the most part, I don't have to sleep that much on this guy, and it's great. I don't know if me not choosing this on the other playthrough is going to bite me in the butt, but we shall see. And then I also chose the chef because almost in every game it takes forever to level up cooking. I know that. So I chose this, and you can even see they've added levels later down the road, but it's taken me almost no time to level up sprinting and strength because of how easy it is, as well as sharp and accuracy. But cooking, agriculture, crafting, like a bunch of these are very, very hard to do. I wouldn't look at fishing because they added fishing later and I haven't really done that much fishing. It seems like fishing's not that hard to level up because I haven't done it that much and I'm almost at 8. So yeah, fortitude, for example, you just take damage, and to me, I don't know how strong this is, but this didn't seem that great. But yeah, you can see how I've tried to level up sneaking. Even with this character, you have 50% increase on sneaking. It takes forever to level up sneaking. It really does. And yeah, what you get for leveling it up just doesn't seem that great. But who knows? Maybe I'll do a stealthy, sneaky playthrough, and unlocking this, it'll actually be good. Who knows? Alright. Not gonna fully walk you through everything, but once you talk to Dude and kind of explore around a little bit, then I'll help you out. So first things first, after you talk to him, if you haven't figured it out already, you need to explore around so you can discover recipes and whatnot. Your first one, if you come in here, I already grabbed it, shouldn't have done that. There is an apron here that will unlock, which you don't have to research for some reason, but you do get bandages and you get net. Yeah, this is where the hoarding begins, because this is a true survival game, so pick up everything you see. So from my experience, this water does not come back, but you do need clean drinking water or you're going to make yourself, from what I remember, you vomit and you'll lose more hunger and thirst that way. So don't drink unclean water. Not a good thing. Duct tape is your best friend. You're going to use it all the way to the end of the game. So hoard it like crazy. You can use it for literally everything, including repairing weapons and armor. So to get your first weapon, if you come and read the emails, you always want to read these terminals, by the way. You can read the email, turn on the light, and you'll get a bunch of ideas. And if you really wanted to, you can move the light, but you don't have to. You can leave it there and keep it on so you can see. Over here. But yeah, just kind of progress until I jump to the next thing. Also, if you can't cook food, I noticed that there's a little bit of a bug. You have to pick up the frying pan and put it back down. I don't know why the case is. Just wanted to quickly update that I have got the vacuum. Vacuum is going to be extremely useful for you in the beginning of the game. Some people argue that it's useful end game. I don't really think it's that useful, but if you need a charging station for it, you just come out of the door that you unlocked for the scientist that died. Straight ahead, right next to the security guard. You can charge it there. So my voice did not get recorded on my recordings. Love that for myself. I was showing that you can make a chess piece if you find cafeteria trays. You'll unlock a lot of recipes if you do that. You'll be able to make a shield as well. However, you cannot make the arm wraps or the leg wraps until you find magazines. I wouldn't really bother with the other chest piece. It only gives you like 2 more armor points, which is very minor. So if you're lost and you're trying to figure out what to do next, if you just follow my path here, I'll show you where you need to go. Also, bear with me, I'm trying to figure out what I said. I recorded a ton, and I mean a ton, of me like doing voiceovers, and I'm having to figure out what I said in them. But yeah, you need to come and talk to this guy. When you get to this room, it's going to be electrified. I think it's a nod to the first Half-Life, I'm pretty sure, since there's so much inspiration to the first Half-Life. You can come up and talk to him, and then there is magazines down on the table. You could drop down through the hole.
Anyone else getting
and,
a bit
get those so that you can make the arm wraps and leg wraps. Okay, so if you talk to the guy that's up there and then go to the right, you see the guys right there, go to the right, drop down the hole. You can come to this room and there's a free cabinet that you don't have to worry about it breaking down. If you take this back with you, you can make that armor piece for free, essentially, if you want to. If not, I would use it for storage. I'm also just showing that you can put extra stuff into the filing cabinets or whatever, because I'm not 100% sure when stuff despawns on the ground. I've always just put it in a cabinet to come back for it later. There is the cart there too, if you want to make the cart. That can help you if you want to wheel it around. Since I already know what I need to do and where to go, I didn't really use it that much. I'm just kind of using it as storage. But yeah, this has one more slot than the storage that you can make. So it's up to you if you want to use it for that or not. But yeah, I'm showing off the chest piece that you can make. It's literally only 2 armor points. To me, it's If you really want it, you can. But 2 armor points is not going to do much. I feel like there's more value out of it being a storage unit. Also, not necessarily a necessity, but in this room in the back corner, you'll see this. Take it with you because it will let you get to certain areas before you get a jetpack. Yeah, minor spoiler, there's jetpacks in the game. But before you get the jetpack, to get to certain places that normally you would just jetpack to, you can use this. And you could even upgrade it so you jump even higher than what it is right now, but I do show right here that this is about the height that it goes. Like, you can go on top of that. So you can make makeshift cooking pots, or you can find cooking pots. They will be some of the better foods in the beginning of the game, rather than just eating cooked meats and stuff. You can follow my path here to get the cooking pot. However, before you can even do any soups, you have to level up your cooking to level 3, so just keep that in mind. But if you come all the way up here, there is a cooking pot, and it will give you the recipe as well when you pick it up. Also, not a huge deal if you don't get this until later, but you do want the refrigerator as well as the tomatoes and the potato in there. Potato's not as important as the tomato. You do want the tomatoes to make super tomatoes. Super tomatoes are going to be like your best food. Also, I'm showing here that if you have everything is like running low and you don't want to mess with it, the game doesn't tell you this and nobody else is going to tell you this, but you can just die and respawn and pick up your stuff. The only thing it's going to do is make your armor lose some of its durability. But especially in the beginning of the game, when you don't have anything and you barely have armor, the amount that you lose of durability on your armor means nothing, and you're probably going to replace the armor very soon anyways. So I'm showing here, if you come from like the central hub area, come up the big stairs, go completely straight, hang a right, and you'll loop around here. You'll come to this room. There is soil in this room, and you want the soil bags because that's going to help you make the super tomatoes. So pick those up. Come nighttime, you'll notice that the lights shut off. Well, there's a big fan that shuts off. If you climb through the vents on the very far right, you'll come all the way through to this room where you can get the anvil. You need the anvil so that you can make a repair/salvage station. There's also some ammo in here. You're not going to use that for a while, but yeah, there's also useful items, filing cabinets, all kinds of stuff. Not to mention, minor spoiler, there's a fast travel that you're technically unlocking by doing this. I won't spoil too much on that. But yeah, take the anvil back to your base, because you need the full anvil to make the station, and I show it here. So this is probably one of the parts where a lot of people are going to get stuck at. You're not going to have a clue what to do. You need a craft with these 4 items at the top of my inventory so you can make a energy brick. Once you make that energy brick, you gotta follow my path. Kind of hard to find unless you're really exploring around and you just kind of stumble across it, but if you want a straight path, just follow me. Really, this game does reward you for exploring, because if you think you have way too much of something, trust me, you'll use it in the future. So yeah, put it in, it's gonna open the door. You can even unlock this door and open it. For some reason, if that shuts back down, you have a way to get through. You can open that so that you don't have to walk all the way around. Take the elevator up. And you will see something over there. You want to go towards that to progress the story. So, after you have gone through the portal and come out the other side, you can climb up in the rafters, and there's some loot. If you discover screws, you can make trip mines, which will be useful in the future. Also, I am just showing that if you come into this room here, there is more magazines so that you can make your legs or arm pieces, whichever ones you're missing, as well as a ton of loot in a bunch of different rooms that you can explore around in. There is even more magazines if you come down from where you spawned after the portal. It's in this room with the TV.
Research and scientific
There's
study.
even books there, because you'll need books too. The arm wraps take books and the legs do not, so it's up to you which one you want to make out of that. This is just a quick showcase that once you get to this area, almost everything in this area is lootable, and to do it faster than just doing this and breaking stuff, just use the vacuum. You'll save yourself so much time. So in the back corner from where this guy is walking towards me, that is where the robot sleeps. You can go and whack him awake so that he will try to attack you. If you want to kill him, super easy. You want to lure him in the direction that I'm going, because there is a dangling electrical wire that will kill him for you. I would highly recommend doing this if you are solo until you get better items. This is going to slow you down immensely, and I don't think they really took into account solo players for this. So you don't have to do this, but you're gonna struggle quite a bit if you don't, because your weapons do basically nothing to the robot. Now, if he attacks you like that, he'll go past the wire. You just have to get out of the corner and have him go towards it and stand up straight so he gets hit by it, but Yep, you kill him like that. There's another robot. If you go down and to the left to where I'm standing, go all the way down there, there's another robot. Lead him all the way up to this one, kill him so you can get his CPU. If you come back to this area, there's a big electrical water area that you want to lure the robot to. Once you kill all three, you'll have enough to progress the story. Once again, you don't have to do this. You can try to kill him if you want to. I just think it's extremely hard to do solo, considering the weak spot is on the back of the robot. And at this point in the game, it's almost impossible for you to be able to do that weak spot damage. You do get stuff in the future where you can like poke their eye to do more damage or whatever, grenades, etc, etc. But at this point in the game, I would use this cheese if I was you. Otherwise, you're gonna be stuck at this point for a long time trying to kill him. Now you can craft the hacker level 1, so you can open this door. You can take the elevator down so that you can unlock it so you can take it back up, because otherwise it'll be locked from this level and you won't be able to take it up. So just take it down and take it back up, or you could take it down. Also, when you go through that area, levels respawn their loot, so pick up or destroy or do whatever you want in that level and don't worry about it. It'll get reset within so many days of in-game days. So as you went through there, you had the power cell, put the power cell in, you'll get to manufacturing west. You'll want to come through here and open the door. Make sure you do that because that's going to save you a lot of walking, because when you open this, it'll take you back to either where you put in the power cell, or you can loop around back to the main area. You're back here. So not sure if this is here every single time, but if it is, when you come down the ramp, you can loop around this way, and if you check the trash can, maybe you'll have it too. There's a water bottle in here that you can fill, so you have water on you. That is probably like your very first portable water. Before you explore through this area, when you come down the ramp, open the door, break the boxes, you will get rebar, which will then give you the recipe to make the scrap shot. Immediately 180, go back to base and make the scrap shot. If you don't have the power cells, which you should still have too, you can wait for the world to reset and go back through the world that had the big creatures. Don't want to spoil anything if somebody for some reason jumped ahead. Go through there, remember how you got 3 power cells, do that again, you'll get 3 more power cells.